Thanks everybody for coming out. It's a tough couple weeks for us here with the trades we've made, losing the players Pascal Siakam, O.G. Anunoby, Precious Achiuwa, and Malachi Flynn. Obviously, we know what these players meant to our program. Incredible human beings, incredible character, incredible players, and what they brought to our franchise. Championship players. Obviously, you guys, you know my relationships with these guys and how hard this is, and I know how hard it is, how hard it's been for them too. Yesterday with Pascal, incredibly difficult, but we're also excited about the new direction of the team. So with that, I just wanted to say thank you to them and everything they've brought to this program. I want to say there's nobody that knows them better than I do, and as close to them as I am. In every single detail, I know what those guys brought every day, how professional they were. Yeah, it's as things happen, but that one is close to me. I'll say this. Yeah, I hate to go on like this little rant, but on what I think of the world globally, you know, and what these guys represent, and where I come from, where they come from. Yeah, it's meant a lot to me, and trust me, we've analyzed this in every single way, more than you can think, to come to this decision. And but I wish them all the best, and I know they are going to do big things where they are.
Why did you think it was necessary to change direction like this in these last 3 weeks?
Obviously, I think the uncertainty of free agency is a big factor. I think we also looked at the trend of the team. We've tried to give it as much time as we can, and I know there are a lot of questions after last season. Why didn't we do something at the trade deadline? You know, but we look at the fits of the team. We looked at the emergence of Scottie, and we've also looked at the age and coming down a little bit younger and growing. So, Doug, honestly, a lot of factors. You know, like whether it's now or thinking about the strategy of future. You know, like so, lots of factors.
In hindsight, with what you just referred to, do you wish you had acted sooner and moved on from O.G. or Pascal sooner?
No, I don't. Honestly, when I look at, if you give an example, I hate to go back here, but if you give an example to our 48 win team in 13, we tried to give that a chance. Next year, when we came back, and had 49 wins. We didn't have honestly like a great year, but had 49 wins. So when I look at this, you know, the caliber of players, and I look at the year before, how it's got better. I think that team, in my opinion, deserved us to give them more than half a season chance, and that led to us thinking that one of the pieces missing at the time was a center, you know, like, and we thought it was good value to get a starting center for for a pick, and we still think that. So, to your question, Eric, at the time, our full-blown thought was to give this team a chance, that team a chance to play and to win. And I don't know that you make a decision, like half a season in, based on, like our struggles or some of the things that we were not doing so well. I think that's a short time in our business.
You talked a lot about wanting to remain competitive in the present while also developing for the future and balancing those things. Mm-hmm. That seemed to be the motivation, obviously, with the O.G. deal and with the Pirtle deal that you talked about. This trade sends a bit of a different message. Was it simply that you felt this was the best offer that was going to be available, or do you believe that this can help you do that and continue to compete in the short term?
Well, when you look at both trades, like I think we accomplished a couple things, like that we're trying to do. If you put them together, young players, picks, and flexibility of our team going into the future, and that's how strategically we have to look at this. To your point, I think the marketplace is also determines. Yeah, you guys are a big contributor to where the NBA is going and how things are advertised or things are reported. But I hate to tell you guys, it's not all reality. Yeah, that's real. Yeah, so my point is, some of the trades and things you hear, like on Twitter or on social media, I'm not getting those calls. Yeah, so the marketplace varies and changes, like at different times. That's just the nature of the NBA and the nature of our jobs. And this is what was there for us, and we measured it with what was there for us in the past. And it was consistent, and we decided to move on it.
Given the deals that you're saying weren't there, they weren't on the table, that the media thought there was, or whatever the case is, was there then, like, how much thought was then given to potentially retaining Pascal and making a decision later, or was that off the table for you at this point?
Yeah, some thought was given to it. Let me make this clear to like all of you. Everybody, I see, my guys tell me, like with this whole like Pascal thing, like there's no, Pascal's success is my success. There's none of you that knew Pascal or know Pascal more than me. Yeah, let's be real. Yeah, so his success is my success. If that guy moves, I move. Yeah, so if I'm being, even if I'm being selfish, like there's, for me, there's something there. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't, I've gone into every detail, every single detail. My team has gone into every single detail on how we measure him staying or us doing this deal. Yeah, and fit comes into it. And when we think of fit, we think strategically, we think on the court with Scottie Barnes, who has emerged to be the player we're going to like build around. And also we have to think about financials. Yeah, we have to think that too. So you can imagine, or you can say we will trade, we will sign and do something later, but you never know how this market changes. That's just the nature of the NBA.
Just following up on that, talking about the strategy of the future and the financials, how much does the new CBA restrictions play into things and change things in terms of max contracts, super max, all that, having 2 max, 3 max guys, whatever? How much does that change everything these days?
It does play into it, and you'll see as it comes. We'll see it. Yeah, it does play into it, and for us, having flexibility, I think, maybe speaks louder, like for us, in terms of what could become available in the future. We have to like think that way as we move forward.
You guys have had not a lot of draft picks over the past few years in trying to add to this team over time and adding to the championship. With this trade especially, bringing in 3 first-round picks, do you see it as an opportunity for the front office to kind of make a big stamp in that way on the franchise again?
I think it does, but it also, we have to look at it as honestly as flexibility. Yeah, you can consolidate these picks, like you don't have to pick them, like you can trade them. There are many things that you can do, and that's our thinking. Yeah, with those picks, it's not necessarily that we are going to go into this draft and we have a lot of picks and we're going to approach it that way. There are many ways to think about this. You never know what comes up. I think historically, every year, there's always some kind of player. In the last 3, 4, 5 years, maybe even 2 players that just become available from other team situations, and we don't know if that becomes a fit, for us. But we're excited. We're excited about the young players we have. We're excited about Scottie Barnes and his emergence. We're excited about Quickly and his style of play and how young he is and the potential of growth. We're excited about bringing RJ Barrett home and his potential and what he could do as a player. I think there's room for growth for these guys. We're excited for Grady. It's gonna take time. And to be honest, what does a rebuild take, or a normal rebuild? I don't know if to call this a rebuild or a reset, or however we want to put it. But a normal rebuild with other teams takes 5, 6 years. Yeah, do we have the patience for that? Do we have the patience for 3 to 5 years, a building of a team? Some way, somehow, we're going to have patience. And one of the things that I'll tell you 100%, I'm not going to, BS anybody on, is I am patient. Yeah, I was maybe to a fault. I was patient with that team last year because I believed in them. I believed in those players. I believed in what they brought. But now we have to look to the future. Yeah, I think there's many exciting things coming with this team. We've seen it. I think the style of play that Darko has, I think, is very sustainable going into the future. I think we'll get better. I think our guys will grow. I think we'll continue to add players and we'll continue to see ways where this team can get better. And I think it's going to take patience. We have to see these guys grow. And that's one thing that I think we don't have as much now in this day and age in the NBA.
You mentioned Scottie and the trades clear the way for him to officially be the face of the franchise. Now, obviously, he's taken a big step forward this year, but he's still 22, and that's pretty young in terms of guys who take the reins of a franchise. What makes you confident that he's ready for that responsibility and everything that comes with it?
Well, I don't know if he's ready for that responsibility, but we have to put him in position. That's our jobs. Yeah, we have to put him in position to at least grow and start to see dividends of the work he's putting in, to become that kind of player. And I think we've seen it. Yeah, whether if he's getting better rebounding, whether he's getting better as a fourth quarter player, whether he's getting better passing the ball, whether he's getting better with his three-point shooting, I think we've seen that. The hardest thing to do in this NBA is to find those kind of players. Yeah, that's the hardest thing, is to find that exact type of player. Yeah, that has that basketball IQ, that has that size, that develops his shooting, has the charisma, has the character, to become that player. And then the other guys too that have upside. Quickly has incredible upside, whether it's his shooting that spaces the floor for us, his quickness. He'll get better and better. This team has only played how many limited games together. Or RJ Barrett, we're trying to teach him to play in a different way. And I think he's going to get better at it. We already see it. His shooting will get better. And we continue to grow from there and add, I think, those pieces that are necessary for this team to continue to grow. But I tell this to all of you guys and to our fan base, it's going to take patience. Yeah, we're going to grow gradually and try to build this team like the right way.
Given the preferred style of play that you mentioned and also Bruce Brown's skill set, do you think he can be part of that future beyond just a short-term thing?
Well, if you think of a guy, like that has been on a championship team, as one of the toughest players in the NBA, There's something he brings to us. He's dynamic. He's 6'4", 6'5", but plays every position there is in the NBA. For us, it was he's a key contributor to this in what he brings to our team.
Sorry, when you made the move for Jakob, at the time you had, an all-star point guard, you had an all-NBA forward, you had an all-NBA defender, you had, Scottie, who's, clearly on his path to something special. And one of the reasons you were willing to make the trade with Jakob was because this draft, 2024, was, deemed to be quite weak. And so, when you look at where you are now, where a lot of those pieces we talked about aren't here, and you've now potentially got 4 picks in this draft. I mean, would you have predicted that that's the situation you're in, and would you have kind of wondered if there's maybe a miscalculation along the way in terms of some of the judgments that led to it?
Yeah, I can see it where you see it that way, Grange, but when you trade a first-round pick for a starting center in the NBA, in our business, for us, it's good for now and for the future, whether it's a fit on our team or it's something else in the future. Yeah, when you trade a first-round pick for a starter, I don't know how many times that's been done, or where it's always available, and that's the way we look at it. When I go back and look at what we did with our team at that time, met with the coaches, met with the players, and collectively, and with our front office, we decided that to give that team a chance. All-star player in Fred VanVleet, you mentioned, All-NBA, Pascal Siakam, All-Defensive, O.G. Anunoby, Rookie of the Year, Scottie Barnes. They deserved and they wanted a rim protector. Yeah, and maybe it was me being selfish, and maybe it was a mistake on my part. But we went 15-11 after that, and so I'm not going to sit here and cry over spilled milk or give you guys any excuses if it was a mistake. It was a mistake, but going forward for me, that's good value for us, whether it's now or sustainable in the future.
You guys, you mentioned that you didn't feel a half season, was enough to evaluate that group. When that season came to an end, you obviously have had a full season to evaluate that team. Over the summer, what were you guys? You mentioned potentially making changes, not just to the coaching staff, but to the roster as well. You didn't make a ton of those. Were you thinking about those things, and I guess why didn't you make bigger changes or some of these changes during the summer?
Yeah, I think we definitely looked at the draft. We definitely looked at this the summer, and honestly, our business, is what's available and what the market is, at the time, and what was available was not what we wanted to do with where we wanted to go with our team, and that's where sometimes you have to be patient. And sometimes being patient is being risky. It's just taking risks, with what you do. But when I measure what we have now and what was available then, it pretty much balances out. Yeah. So even at the draft, teams make decisions that, we're not going to go that direction, or we're going to decide to rebuild. I know Portland was one of the teams that was mentioned a lot, in this whole process, but they decided to go in the other direction rather than get better. I don't control that. I wait for this, and I'm aggressive on this, but if it's not on this, I don't know what to do. Go ahead.
You talk about being patient, and I can tell it's a long-term strategy. But it just more so in the immediacy of this team right now. What are your expectations? What is the immediate next step with this group?
Play and keep growing and keep learning. I think learn the system, learn the NBA, learn what it takes to grow in this NBA, operate within space. And when I say space, I mean what the boundaries are to grow, and what the limits are and what the opportunities are for these guys to grow. And I think the system that Daco has put into place, where we think sharing, we're going to try and add more shooting to this team, and we'll continue to give these guys the opportunity to grow and expand their games even more.
You guys have a bunch of pieces now of varying age, salary, skill. Can you see more trades in the next 3 weeks?
Definitely, that's you look at this, and that's why we have created flexibility. And the next 3 weeks is all these windows, whether it's now, whether it's the draft, whether it's free agency. That's why we've created flexibility to make this team grow and continue to be bigger and better and exciting for our fans, because I think there's upside here.
You have an extra pick to maybe attach to a contract in a trade in the next before President games. Is that part of the thought process to get the
100%? Yeah, 100%. Why not? There are ways to consolidate. There are ways to attach to contracts. There are ways to think really big if things happen where you have to pile on picks to put in potential deals. We just wanted to create that room where we have that flexibility to grow and grow around these guys and build around these players.
You've said dating back many years that Canada has a lot of untapped potential. And I know you increased the scouting efforts here since you've taken over. So with that in mind, what does it mean to you to have RJ on the team now?
It means a lot, for us. That's intentional for us. It's 100% intentional. We wanted RJ Barrett. We wanted quickly in that deal. It meant a lot for us to bring him home and start to build on this, and we haven't really built on that like the last few years as these Canadian players have continued to rise in the NBA, and this was an opportunity for us.
Have you learned any lessons about yourself in the past few years about your own leadership style and management?
Yes, a lot. Honestly, I learn every day. That's just the kind of person I am. That's what this business is. If you don't innovate, if you don't try to get better, if you don't look at the things that you don't do well or you don't do so well, I have no ego in this game. For me, this is an incredible opportunity to be at this job. So, yeah, it's every day. It's learning. I'm learning how to dance Afrobeats. I have an Afrobeats dance class twice a week. I'm clumsy dancing, so I need to learn how to dance. Started doing Muay Thai, boxing. There's so many things that but even. Yeah, I'm thinking, I know your questions are towards the business, but honestly, every day we're challenging our minds because this business has become so swift, so instinctive now, so day to day. You don't know what's coming. Yeah, you never know what's coming.
So I would have known Decky in Golden State, I presume, through the process of hiring Darko and various international events. Can you speak to his untimely passing and what it meant to the league?
Decky is that one. I didn't want to open with that because I didn't want to get emotional. Jonathan Givoni introduced me to Decky many years ago in Serbia, and this is when he was coaching at Mega, and a lot of my time was spent in Serbia, obviously learning how to scout. And I met Dejan there, and yeah, for this to happen just like this in the manner that it happened, I can't even imagine for his family or their organization, you know, like, but somebody I knew, somebody that I just saw, yeah, a couple of days ago in Golden State when we played them. Yeah, so yeah, this one is hard because I know the NBA is just one big family, man, and you know my time scouting and going back there and spending time and dinners and all those things, information you're trying to gather about players and him wanting to be a coach. I will tell you guys this, yeah, it's not the man because the man is gone, but out of the 15 coaches that we interviewed, about 11 of them mentioned his name and the potential to bring them on his staff. 11 of them. I just counted with Bobby. 11. You know, what does that tell you about the man? Incredible. Jama was besides himself yesterday, and so was Darko. You know, like for this to happen, like at a team dinner, yeah, think about like how that, what that means, yeah, for us. And that's, yeah, that's the reality of this NBA, you know, like we can do what we want, trade all we want, to say all the things that we want, you know. Yeah, the things that I see precious to me and I see is the family of the NBA. Yeah, the camaraderie of the NBA, how we are together in this NBA. That's why this is hard. That's why trading Pascal or Precious, yeah, is hard in this league. And yeah, I don't know what else to say about him. He's a good man, that untimely passing.
So, I mean, there's no good way to segue, so I apologize. There's been a lot out there between your relationship and the team's relationship with Pascal since he was extension eligible. I'm not going to ask for like a TikTok of exactly how everybody felt at every moment, but do you feel that the lines of communication were good and you leave the relationship for now in a fairly good place?
Yes, it's a good question, Eric. You know, I think the lines of communication in the summer were not that great. You know, like just because, yeah, sometimes I don't have answers. You know, like, and sometimes the answer that I've given you, you know, like is the same answer that I'm going to give you. You know, like the next time I speak to you. But based on my relationship, you know, like Pascal deserved that I even gave him, you know, like the over communication, you know, like which I didn't. And I apologized to him, you know, for it. I apologized to him before the season started, and I apologized to him again, you know, recently. So yeah, that part I'm not, yeah, I'm not particularly proud of, you know, like, but there's so many things in our business that bring about this type of, this type of communication or non-communication. And I go back again to say there's nobody in this world, I don't know, you know, like outside his close family, his mom, his brothers, and yeah, that guy he's right here.
Masai, when you think about Pascal in 10, 20 years from now, what are you going to think about? Is there a moment that stands out to you when you think about him?
Yeah, two moments. Yeah. Yeah, two African guys that won a championship. I share that with him. And I think of his dad and Pascal at Basketball Without Borders. A lot of people don't know that Pascal came to Basketball Without Borders in South Africa he had been admitted into pastoral school in Cameroon, and he only came to Basketball Without Borders to see his sister who lived in South Africa. And he was going to go back to pastoral school. And all NBA, all All-Star, all everything, championship. And it's not stereotype championship of African waving the flag on the bench. Yeah, scoring, contributing, yeah, doing everything, that you can think of. There's, again, I say to you guys that that guy's success is my success, no matter where he is. Yeah,
Masai, your career has been pretty exceptional. Like going back to Denver, like just a remarkable run of really good teams that generally made better. But one thing that really hasn't happened as as a GM is kind of rebuilding, like taking a team that's whatever we are, 10, 12 games under 500 and kind of having trying to ramp that up. And I'm just wondering, what are some of your thoughts on that challenge, and where do you think you're going to have to sort of dig in different ways than you have in the past?
yeah, I have to dig in. Grades, I have to dig in. It's not. It's the challenge of this business, and I it's a challenge of learning. It's a challenge of innovating. Yeah, there's nothing that honestly, like when I look at this business and the things we have to do to stay on top of it, to stay relevant, to win, because I think the game is about winning. We want to win in Toronto. It's the first thing I said when I came here, and I'm going to say it again. We want to win in Toronto, and we're going to win in Toronto. I can guarantee it, because we will do everything in our power. In my power, I'll do everything, to learn about what you are saying, and that's learning to build this team around youth. That's the challenge now, and I accept it, and we're going to take it and go with it.
So you mentioned, building this team around you. Scottie is sort of at the forefront of that conversation. I guess just more generally, looking back at the past generation, these two trades have been the end of an era in some ways. What are some lessons you think you can learn from a roster building perspective when it comes to building around Scottie?
Scottie had a level year last year. I wish I could have predicted this jump. Maybe better. I've always believed in him. You guys know I believed in him in the draft. We believed in him as a team, and this jump has been good learning experience for me, because I feel there are many things that like maybe you can put around him, but some of those things are sometimes difficult to project, like in our business, and we try our best to project them the best way we can.
Masai, just a moment back to Pascal and, talking about family. You talk about the accolades he's had on the court, but, you pretty much watched him grow into the human that he is today. Talking to fans and, especially young fans, they're just so sad to see him go because he's had such an impact in the community through his foundation and who he is. What's it been like for you to watch that part of Pascal and just the impact that he's had?
Yeah, Pascal would come to me and ask me about Giants of Africa. He'd go to Larry Tannenbaum and ask him about rights to play, and how he wants to grow his foundation and some of the things he wants to do. Like when you look at a guy that has that kind of impact or that kind of capacity in our league, it's something. It's something. That's just who he is. That guy worked harder than everybody, came to practice before everybody, left after everybody. No excuses. You guys saw it. I played every freaking game, every single game. Yeah, I think that's easy for me. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's the same as DeMar DeRozan, same as Kyle Lowry, and I'm proud of that culture.
Masai, you built a championship team in 2019. Obviously, your greatest professional feat so far, but obviously you've also had to dissemble it in the past month. But you've also spoken about being excited for what's next on this team. I guess just like, how are you doing? Like, that's an incredible roller coaster to be on.
I'm doing great, man. There's for me, it's family. If my family is doing well, my wife and my kids, my parents and immediate family, that remains, important for me. The Raptor family remains important for me. That I continue to do the right thing and treat people the right way and build the right way. Yeah, that's important, for me. Listen, guys, this will end at some point, and I can guarantee you something. Toronto will win. Yeah, Toronto will win with or without me. Toronto will win. Yeah, this is just what this market is. It's a gold mine that people haven't really discovered, and I'm proud of that. But I'm telling everybody I'm fine. Yeah, I'm 100% fine. If I'm not doing this, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm 100% fine. Trust me. Yeah, this is the love of what I do and the opportunity that the NBA has given me. Yeah, I'm proud of it. We'll do it to win. Yeah, to win. This market means everything to me.
You mentioned the culture that runs from DeMar to Kyle, to Pascal, including Fred, obviously, and others I'm not naming. Do you think that has been absorbed by the younger players here? And I know the group is, still getting to know each other, but do you think that sort of put your head down and work mentality, if I'm sort of reading what you're saying correctly, has been absorbed?
I think it's going to be, and I think we have to do, even a better job of instilling it. But I think the pride of these players, and that's one of the things I think our scouting team, our front office team do a great job. Bobby, Dan, Patrick Engelbert, Keith, Curtis, everybody, Teresa, they do an incredible job, I think, of trying to find these kind of players, characters, like that are going to mean the same thing to our organization. Because this same question you asked, Eric, was the same question that was asked when we had the bench mob. It's the same question, that was asked. Are these guys going to carry on, to what those guys did? Yeah, and you know what? Generations change. Yeah, the way these guys are now is different. Yeah, and everybody compare, this generation, this, there. We have to make that adjustment too. Yeah, as much as they have to make that adjustment, and we find that balance, of what it is and what this culture is of this organization. Yeah, and we're going to find it. Yeah, we're going to find it. But I think the young players, whether it's the Scottie Barnes or the Emmanuel Quickleys or the RJ Barretts, I think they have the huge potential to carry that on.
You mentioned before the season kind of that prove it aspect of Pascal, the extension on media day. And with trade rumors, with extension talks, with his name being kind of clouded and everything, and a lot about his intentions and his part and everything, how do you found he moved through all that as a player, changing to a hierarchy that featured Scottie more as a man, dealing with all the things that were said about him?
Yeah, he handled it perfectly, in my opinion. I give him 100 out of 100. There's no way you can, it has to be difficult, and I said that to him. I know it's difficult. Even a grown man like me, if when you are in those situations of contract and stuff, you get tested. big time tested. There's nothing that stopped him from coming to work every day. That try to be the best he can, try to be the best teammate he could be while he performed. And yeah, we truly respect that. Like I respect that about him. But these are not easy situations for players. This is not easy at all.
Masai, you mentioned rebuild or reset or whatever adjective you want to use or gets used. Sometimes they do take a long time. We can all think of examples, but there's others that have kind of turned around pretty quickly, and you probably think of a couple like that too. Based on what you have and what you think you need and the tools you have, does this feel like something that's going to be, you can't, I'm not saying put a year on it. Mm-hmm. Does it feel like it's going to be something that's closer than further? And I guess, are you sensitive to, Scottie he's almost ready to win now, you could say. And, how do you take most advantage of his years?
Yeah, it's a good question, Grange. We're going to study that, and continue to study that as much as we can, and I think that's where we really have to be really instinctive, I don't think it's anything set. We know he was going to make this jump, in this year. It's tough, it's an incredible basketball mind, and we have to be very mindful of that, and trust me, he talks to me about, about winning, which makes my I don't want to say it makes my job easier, but that's his mindset. Yeah, you see the approach in the fourth quarters, you see the approach in the game, you see how he plays with his teammates, and winning plays. But yeah, I don't know what the actual number is on a timeline or date or, or projection there, but it's something every day I know. Me, Bobby, Dan, Keith were paying, very close attention to.
Obviously, an unfortunate byproduct of the trade is you had to waive Christian or a player, and you waived Christian. Can you just take us through why he ended up being the player you waived?
Yeah, that's a tough one, Eric. His medical status is now in the hands of the NBA, and I can't comment on it. But. Yeah, that was a very tough one for us because somebody we really believed in, someone that had, I know that has incredible talent, and we see and saw as the future of this team. But we've exhausted all our options there, and I can't comment on what it is particularly, but it's now in the hands of the NBA, and I stay private with my comments on him. But it's really unfortunate for us because this is a player that we felt was really a big part of our future. And you guys also know, someone that's part of the programs we've built in Africa, and what we believe is now a true pipeline of how we get future players in the NBA, and this was a big one for us, and it didn't work out that way for now.
Masai, understanding that those draft picks can be traded or whatever, right now you're heavily invested in the draft. How would you characterize this year's draft?
God, I can see Dan Tolzman on this right shoulder telling me, don't say it. Shut your mouth right now. Yeah, I'll say this, in every draft there are players found. Yeah, I think in one of the worst drafts in the NBA history, maybe, Giannis Antetokounmpo and Gobert came out of that draft. I believe in our team and what we do, and I think we'll make the best use of it. Are we going to take 3 picks in that draft? strongly doubt it. That's not the plan for now, but I think we'll make good use and we'll scout it the best possible way we can.
I mean, this time of year from now, I mean, Scottie, RJ, Quick, like, for sure, that's three potential guys you'd expect to be starting for a long time on this team. Based on the flexibility, potential cap space, whatever, how many guys who fit with their talents and their timelines do you think you might be able to get?
I think we're scouring now, Grange, like everywhere. And the rosters, draft picks, free agents, like this is the growth you are talking about. Like this is the place where we're going to have to like really dig in, yeah, and find those that type talent. Like we're really excited about Jante Porter. Like a big guy that has shooting skill and passing skill and a basketball IQ, plays the right way, size, good age, like with us, those are the kind of things that, like we have to do. That might be like a small level, like, but we just have to start hitting on those, like now to build around these guys. And honestly, like we're excited about this, and to get these young guys to start to play now and express themselves. Listen, it's going to take patience. There's going to be the first half of last night's game and the second and the third quarter of last night's game, like a lot. There's going to be a lot of that. Let me warn you, like, so yeah, in the next year, couple years, and we hope it's shorter. Like we do hope it's shorter. We're going to do our best for our team, our organization, our fan base. Like that. Championship is what we've experienced here, and what we want to experience again here. Yeah, that's where we want to go to, but it's going to take patience.
Is it a priority for you to be in the play-in tournament, maybe push for, I guess probably playoffs might be a bit of a stretch, but, to be in that, 8 to 10 range, or 7 to 10 range, or, would it be a reasonable outcome to keep your own pick?
Honestly, Grange, we're going to play to win. Yeah, we're going to coach these guys and teach them and play to win. Yeah, whatever that brings us, we will deal with and we will prepare for. We're going to be well prepared, like for any scenario that comes our way. That's what flexibility, brings, and we hope we can. In the future, whether it's near or far, we go away from what we call flexibility. Yeah, that means we're getting better as the further away we go from it. But yes, we're going to prepare for both sides. But pushing this team, to continue to play the right way, to learn, to get opportunity, and to win when they can. That's what we're going to do here.
You guys,
building around Scottie Barnes a couple times. What types of players and what types of people do you want to bring into the team to build around him?
I think we started with RJ Barrett, with Emmanuel Quickly and RJ Barrett. Yeah, like this shooting. I think athletic players, players with basketball IQ, young players. We have to start building spacing. Those kind of things are going to be important. But overall, we have young talent. We have to go and find those fits.
you guys could be a player in free agency if you guys choose to go in that direction. Mm-hmm. Is that something you see as free agency being something that you guys want to explore, or is it cap space is more valuable in other ways these days in the NBA?
We'll see. I think 3 out of the 4. I shouldn't say this. This is gonna. Yeah, 3 out of the 4 players in the top free agents this year have played for the Raptors before.
Specifically on RJ, I think the last 10 games have been some of the best of his career.
Grange, are you thinking about it? Come on.
I'm just trying to think of the third one. Oh, right, okay, my apologies.
Out of four, out of the actually more. Oh, five then. let's keep going. You guys mentioning all of them because the NBA will find me if I say names. Yeah, I don't have that much money right now. Okay, yeah, he's out. Yeah, yeah, he's out.
Specifically with RJ, this has been one of the best stretches of his career. There's been conversations about how he's perceived as an asset and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, you guys thought that there was untapped potential there. Such a great start. Have you been surprised at all by the level of play he's been able to immediately bring?
No, man, you guys, you know that tunnel, and I swear, like this seems like crazy to say, but his dad. Every single time I was standing in that tunnel 10 years ago, and I can't believe I've been here that long. 10 years ago, how old was RJ? 13. And his dad would walk through that tunnel and he would bring him to me. Every single time he brought him to a game, he would bring him to me. Ask Rowan. I'm telling you, every single time I'm standing in that tunnel, he'll bring it to me. There's my son, you know, and he loves basketball. Please say something to him. Every single time. And this guy, full circle, right here, playing for the Raptors. What do I think of him? And can there be growth? Yeah, absolutely. He's 23 years old, you know, like, and I think sometimes these players are put in those kind of situations, you know, like, and sometimes right in the beginning of their careers, they are not in the right situation, to be honest. Yeah, and we're hoping with him that was the case, yeah, so that he can be better here.
Can you be fined for tampering with a 13-year-old? That was a joke.
I will have no money because there are a lot of 13-year-olds in Africa playing basketball.
You got to look at Lewis and Mora as well. Lewis was a lottery pick. I mean, what do you see there?
Say that again?
You got to look at Lewis and Mora as well in the deal. I mean, Lewis was, I think, 13th pick. He's had some injuries. I mean, what do you see there?
We keep taking those chances, you know, like these kind of players were excited. I think they just arrived here, you know, and I'm really excited to see Kyra. I'm excited to see Nora, who I've known since he was 5 years old, not 13. You know, his dad is a good friend has been a good friend for many years and been part of the Nigerian basketball program. And Bruce, you know, like, yeah, it is. That's the beauty of this next challenge, and we have to do well, and we have to get it right. Eric, anything? Come on, man. I know I've disappeared for like 3 months, you know, like, but
I was thinking Krusty goes 2.5 hours.
yes, so but how long have I gone?
I'll go one more.
An hour?
Your Grange has another one for me.
Yeah, and I know you guys are thinking of another one.
I mean, you touched on Jonte, and that's a good example, and Pascal, I mean, is maybe the best example of the kind of successes you guys were able to achieve with players from off the radar or lower in the draft or whatever. And, you know, when you look at, you know, kind of Scottie aside from 2019 on, you know, you could argue that's sort of been a challenge to this team. You had a nice upper end group of talent, and the hitting on some of the lower picks or, you know, kind of the undrafted player or whatever it might be hasn't just materialized recently. As you look at it, is that just the nature of the business, and you're not going to nail these guys every year, and like kind of 15 to 18 is just an incredible run? Or was there some systems, some things that you review and you go, well, you know, we made some mistakes and we need to correct those?
I think it's a mix of all of it, you know, like you're not going to get all of these right. I think in the mix of getting it right, I think we had Bruno, we had, you know, we had a couple that we didn't.
I still believe in Bruno.
Yeah, we didn't get right. Bruno's my guy, man.
I saw him in the World last year.
Yeah, he made impact there. Yeah, it's a mixture of all of it, you know. I'll stay on this side and say we have to, you know, like learn more and figure it out more. I can stay on this side and say unlucky somewhat, you know, like I believed in Christian, you know, and I think he could have been something big for us in a dynamic center. But yeah, we look at Malachi, you know, like I think there's still more and maybe, you know, there and um, I know you guys how you guys felt about us drafting Scottie, but I'll leave that, you know, like to another day. I know if we go there, yeah, it's not been Fred and Pascal and O.G. and yeah, it's not and Norm, you know, like it's not been that. But I always say the NBA, you know, like your time comes, it goes, it come back around again, you know, and our time is coming again, you know, like you're not going to have 100% success all the time, you know, like and I think after COVID, we've gone through pretty hard times here, but we're not using that as an excuse. We're going to something incredible came out of COVID, and I think that's Scottie Barnes. You know, like that will lead us. That's the hardest one to do. So hopefully we will get better. You know, like and we take responsibility for whatever hasn't worked.
Masai, I think with the whole DeMar trade that happened now ages ago, somewhere along the way you got painted as maybe a bit cold in these negotiations, and yet obviously you sit here today and anything but, like it's a very emotional toll it weighs on you to trade these people you get to know. Do you think it would benefit you to be a bit colder and be able to
Colder than I am now. I mean, goddamn, like,
Well, do you
I'm
feel
like,
like
what? Yeah, pass me a cookie, dog.
you know, do you like, because obviously it hurts you to like to have to move on from these guys.
Man, like, yeah, I don't know if it gets any colder, man. Yeah, I don't know. You know, like this is tough business. Yeah, I walked around a hotel for 2 hours in Kenya to sum up courage to call DeMar. Yeah, and I'm a tough motherfucker. Yeah, I mean, yeah, excuse my language.
This is why JQ shouldn't have left.
I know, exactly. Come on, JQ, cut. Yeah, no, I'm my last one. You know, like honestly, you know, like it's the human part of this business is tough. Yeah, that part, like you can't. Yeah, my wife and my kids, like, yeah, see me like suffer. My son texted me and said, "You traded O.G." You know, like, yeah, it's tough. It's really tough to sum up the courage. I remember me and Bobby sitting in my office, yeah, to walk from my office, yeah, to Coach Casey's office, or to walk from our office to Nick Nurse's office. Do you know how hard that is? Yeah, when you share like a championship, yeah, Coach of the Year, yeah, man, Coach Casey were in Africa together, you know, like this summer. And with time, you know, with DeMar, with time, you know, like it heals a little bit, you know, but man, it's not easy, man. It's not easy because there's something about the NBA. I don't know if other leagues are like that, but there's something about the NBA as family. Yeah, no matter how, you know, like cold we can get, you know, there's just something about it. And it will remain the most difficult part of this business. Trading a player and when a player leaves. It's the most difficult thing. Fred said it. Yeah. What did Fred say when he asked what's the most difficult thing? He said it was the call he made to me. I remember that call. Yeah, it's the most difficult thing in this business. And you guys might look at it as simple or something that's just done. Nah, 2 hours. I was walking around this hotel at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. in the morning, trying to sum up the courage, to call DeMar DeRozan.
What did it take with Pascal? What did it take for you to have those words for him?
You know, I think the only good thing about Pascal was we had an incredible, good conversation, you know, prior to this, leading up to this in LA. So I think it prepared all of us maybe a little bit better, you know, like for this, being honest and having a good conversation. Thank you, guys.